Ladies and gentlemen, I am from the United States of America, which would make me an American. And Americans are taught from a young age that Chinese products are of poor quality. There's been a lot of rumbling in the running shoe world about Chinese running shoes. And today, well, I have the first of three to test for you. This is my review of the Qiaodan Wind 3 TR.
Get up, no, get moving.
Molly in a rhythm, I the notion. Body's money get to stay in motion. Run, now you're whipping wicked fast. They are the urge, you're on top. Happy stop, let's go.
Lacing up the Qiaodan Wind 3 high wind, strong wind, not sure which wind, but one of the winds, 3 TR. I have ordered kind of a bunch of running shoes from China, and this is the first one I'm going to test for you all. And get more into some of the things that I'm looking forward to, what it feels like when we get outside, but right now I'm just trying to dial in the fit. I am running extremely behind for Run Club today, and I'm actually going to do this video for you today. Normally I don't do videos I don't film on Saturdays, but I was so excited that this pack dropped, and the two other shoes in the pack that I ordered from China itself are even more exciting than this, to be completely honest. But I've really kind of desperately needed a new daily trainer for a while now because I'm running in the Evo SL and the Neo Zen, and they're going to run out of mileage eventually. So I'm going to need something to run in. And also, I wanted to see how the Chinese market stacked up against some of these American offerings. Or Western brands, I should say, Adidas being German and Mizuno being Japanese. It's interesting that Japan is a Western brand, but the way the geopolitical tokens fall, that is indeed the case. But Japan assuredly is very far east in the world, geographically speaking. This is a pretty low volume fit, which I kind of like. I'm a little concerned about where my big toe is coming up here, but I was actually more concerned when ordering these that I was going to be ordering the wrong size in the other direction, where these would be too big, because that's what, a lot of people said that Chinese shoes run long, and actually not really experiencing that so far. So that was my first, risk that I took in ordering these. Is I did order the correct European size, the 43 1/3, which is a US 9.5, but the materials online are there's just not a lot of information. So I'm going a lot on what Qiaodan Wind says, and also another YouTuber named Huai. I think I'm saying that correctly, but if not, I'll check myself before I post this video and get his name right. And I'll post both of their information in the description. This is actually feeling like it fits really well immediately. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm able to get a good fit on this. So I can't remember offhand what the Evo SL weighs. I think it's like around 240 in that range, like 230 to 250 range. I do think it's around 240. Grams in my size 9.5, and this came in at 247 for the heavier of the two, and that's pretty all right as far as I'm concerned. Couldn't find anything on drop measurements on this. I'm gonna have to go by vibes, because even just trying to do the stack measurement with the calipers along the sidewalls, it's just so unreliable. Yeah, standing in these, it's even hard to say. Like, it's just going to have to be running to say These feel nice. These feel like really, kind of really comfortable, and I have an immediate lockdown on them. This is something, because I run in so many non-daily trainers that they're just not the easiest to lock down all the time, and so I'm constantly readjusting. But these, like, I don't know, I feel very planted on this platform. They're soft. I am standing on carpet, but they're, even just like if I put my foot up like this, I feel like a really nice soft pressure on my foot, rather than, I don't know, I don't have something to really compare it to right now. So I'm going to get outside. I'm probably going to run 2 run club. I'm going to miss everybody, but I'll catch them on the second loop. And I'll give you more information in a sec. Good morning, everybody. I am here with the Qiaodan Wind 3TR, a daily trainer from the company Qiaodan, which means Jordan in English, named after the basketball player Michael Jordan. But they make running shoes. They also make basketball shoes, but they do make running shoes, and this is their daily trainer. Plan for right now is run club started already, so I'm extremely late. I don't normally film on Saturdays, but I wanted to bring you all this exciting daily trainer that I've been looking forward to greatly, and start my 3-part saga on Chinese running shoes. And thank you for being present this very beautiful morning, and let's get after it.
Run, get up, and go, get moving, get up, and go, get moving. Run when you start, you'll be grooving. When you start, you'll be grooving. Run, body in a rhythm, vibe the notion. Mileage, money, get 'em, stay in motion. Run, now you're whipping wicked fast, they hardly heard ya. On top, can't be stopped, that's called runnercia. Run, whipping wicked fast, they hardly heard ya. Stop, drop your hands, go promotion. Like you're whipping wicked fast, they hardly heard ya. On top, can't be stopped, that's called runnercia.
Okay, here we are. First thoughts. I really like this a lot. I've had absolutely no issues so far. Some of the craziest lockdown that I've had in any shoe over the past 2 years. No need to adjust yet. I can see it. I mean, for me, nothing is impossible having to readjust wise. Like, it will happen, but right now I just don't feel like, I don't know, I don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah, incredible lockdown. It's for sure firm, but in a way that is also compliant. There's no real information on the foam online other than it's not a standard EVA and that it is super critical. So what I get when a brand, at least a Western brand, says that it's not regular EVA but it is super critical, that tells me that it's super critical EVA, which I wouldn't be totally surprised about. I don't have a ton of personal experience with supercritical EVA. I tried the Mach 6 from Hoka on. I actually did a few miles in that. I bought it from them, but it was the wrong size. And I returned it, and I just didn't have the money at the time to buy it again. Which I think that if I had that in the right size, I would have actually really liked it. That's the only supercritical EVA that I've ever run in. And this feels, it's really hard. That was like a year ago. Or maybe, yeah, it's pretty much a year ago now. So I can't give you a fair, accurate, like, I don't know if this feels like that. But, I don't know. It doesn't really feel super like EVA to me, to be honest. But probably is. Yeah, there's like, so far just no issues at all, which is huge. I'm gonna put it on the track. I started out pretty quickly. I mean, I've been setting up camera shots, so my time's not gonna reflect that, but I was at around an 8:20 pace initially, which is fast start for me. So these must be somewhat fast shoes. Yeah, it feels not all that different on the track, which is a symptom of, for me, shoes that feel the most different on the track are lower stack shoes, which makes sense because you're more directly in contact with the track surface, which is a bouncy surface. It's really only like super shoes that are really high stack that don't benefit from being on the track as much. And this is so far it's kind of feeling the same. I don't know, I'm getting a little bit from the track, but yeah, these are nice. Really, really nice. The rubber on the outsole is pretty close to full coverage. It feels like to the finger, to like touching it with your fingers, it feels like the CPU on the Adidas 9 cast polyurethane, but on the road it's just well, I guess, it is damp out right now and I haven't slipped yet. I haven't really noticed it either though. Oh my god, I think I might have found my running club. That's freaking hysterical. Alright. Those are some of the faster people. That's really funny. Rochester is an extremely small city. Since last I saw you, I grabbed about 12 miles with my run club, and I'm heading home now. Probably gonna end up at total of 15 or 16 today, which is nice because I didn't double yesterday for the first time in a very long time on a Friday. These shoes, man, have been solid, reliable, comfortable. I haven't had to adjust them. The insole is really soft and springy, but the foam is firm enough where it's just comfortable, and each step is like rolls into the next one. It's relatively flat, so the rocker isn't keeping you on your toes or anything. I'm able to land neutrally. I got a couple faster miles in as well, up a hill even, and yeah, I feel great right now, especially compared to yesterday. Yesterday was a terrible day of running, and today, I mean, it's always nice to run with people, but today I feel simply excellent. So yeah, the drop measurements that I took this morning obviously should be seen as estimates, but I don't think this is anywhere close to 8 to 10 mil drop. It feels more like 5 to 6. So hard to say, how reliable is my underfoot sensation versus what the drop actually is, but even if it is 8 to 10, it feels so unintrusive that it doesn't matter. And I really don't think it's 8 to 10. I feel like it feels like 6. I know I'm breathing heavy. We've been cruising the 9s. We're going at an 8:30 for the majority of it today, which is great, honestly, because I like the people in that group. But 9 is starting to be a little slow for my daily mileage. I do need to get used to doing recovery paces. I think these shoes could help with that. Like, they don't seem to, so far for me, have like a pace range associated with them. I know that's crazy. I'm like always advocating that every shoe has its perfect optimal pace or pace range, and that's true, but I mean, other than the top end sprinting, which I wouldn't necessarily want to do in these shoes, I've hit a variety of paces today and they've all felt as good as each other. So maybe if I can convince my body to slow down, these would be a really good option for that too. I was like lukewarm about these shoes. I ordered 3, as I've said, and these were, since they're a daily trainer, obviously like I was the least excited about these, because the 2 other shoes
that I ordered are very fast carbon, and I'm also very excited about those. But you know, going in relatively blank slate into these, they kind of are knocking my socks off. The insole is creating this like dual layer cushioning effect, which I get from the Neo Zen, but in a different way. This feels like it's a much more like sudden activation point. So like, if you know keyboards, some of the Cherry MX switches have a linear actuation point. Some of them have a sudden like bump to the click. And if you've just used other keyboards, you might tactily know what I'm saying. The Neo Zen feels like it's pretty linear dual density, but eventually you reach like the actuation point and you know what that is. Where this feels like it's like a clicky key, like a Cherry MX Blue, where you compress the insole and then immediately it clicks and you hit into the foam of the shoe, and that's where it really sings, is the foam of the shoe. But both of those things working together does create a pretty nice underfoot feel, very cushioned. There's no reason you also wouldn't be able to do your long runs in these. I mean, I'm right now at almost 15. I got another mile to go, and I don't feel any type of way about it. I mean, my legs yesterday were killing me. I was experiencing some of the peroneal tendon / whatever muscular pain that I've been experiencing on and off for a long time. I had a huge period of not experiencing it for like several weeks, and it came back with a vengeance yesterday. So I didn't run my afternoon run, and maybe it was just the rest that's leaving my legs feeling fresh. But I mean, yeah, at basically mile 15, these have held up extremely well. I would run more long runs than these.
What's up, everybody? I am here in the studio with the Qiaodan Wind 3TR after a great day of running in this shoe. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the stats, talk a little bit about why I purchased this, as well as how the run went, how it felt underfoot, and all of that really good stuff. So before we get started on the shoe, I wanted to touch on a couple things about the intent behind purchasing this shoe, and how I did it. So I went through Taobao, which is a Chinese website, and I purchased 3 shoes at the same time. So this is going to be the first in a 3-part series of this batch of orders of Chinese running shoes. I haven't ordered any new ones yet, but if you have any suggestions on what you would like me to try from the Chinese market, I'm very receptive to that feedback. Why did I decide to pull the trigger and order some Chinese running shoes? Well, the more and more reviews creep into Reddit and to run like shoe tubers like Qiaodan Wind and Huai, whose name I believe I am trying my best to say. And they have a lot of really good information about the shoes, and it seems like these shoes are really competitive, as well as a slew of other Reddit reviews where people are saying the same thing, echoing that sentiment that Chinese running shoes are the real deal. The community has known this for a while, but it is a little bit difficult to order shoes from China if you are going through Taobao. If you're going through AliExpress, it seems to be a little bit more simple, but I wanted to get the low prices that are on these shoes going directly through Taobao. So to give you an idea of what the ordering process looked like, there is a website called Taobao. You go to it, it's all in Chinese. You have to get a screen translator on your phone. I'm sure there's also something for your PC if you wanted to do it on a computer. I did it on my phone. Then you translate where you need to navigate the page, find the shoes that you're looking to buy, add them to cart. It's a website. It's relatively easy to use in that regard. The challenging part comes in once you pay for the shoes, you're not going to be able to use an American address. So you actually need to use an app called Kino to order the shoes through Taobao. It's a pricey delivery fee. The delivery to the United States of America, because of a 65% tariff charge, was more than the price of the shoes altogether. So for all 3 shoes, cost $200 US. Yes, this cost $32 US. That is a huge factor going into this review. And the total order cost $200. The shipping cost over $200. I should be seeing a rebate from that. Just to give you an idea of what to expect going into this market and buying through Taobao, what the current state of affairs is with importing goods from China. I did also pay for air shipping. It would be a little cheaper if I did the boat shipping, but apparently sometimes those get lost. I think that other nations will probably not have such a challenging time. If you're out of the United States, if you're in mainland Europe, or as it seems, Australia, you might have a much more pain-free time. This still came in cheaper than it would have been altogether on AliExpress. I think this was listed at like $140 on AliExpress, and I believe that was before shipping. And all 3 shoes together, and the 2 other ones are hyper shoe category shoes, so do stay tuned for those. So all 3 together being $200 base price plus the extreme shipping is still a very good deal, right? So like $400 for 3 shoes, it's $133-ish per shoe. When you factor in the fact that there are 2 hyper shoes, fantastic deal. This shoe alone is competitive with the $140, $150 price point shoes in the market. What is the Qiaodan Wind 3TR? It is a daily trainer. It weighs 247 grams in my size, men's 9.5 American. It has a jacquard mesh upper. The laces are really similar to the Rebel V4 laces. They're this like ribbed ribbon style lace. It has this really nice tongue. I like this type of tongue where it's really just 2 thicker pieces of fabric sewn together with no floof in the middle. I find the floof is a little overkill in a trainer or even a max cushion shoe, but this type of tongue is really nice. It is not gusseted. I do not care. I'm not team gusset. It has an insole that's actually removable, and we'll get to that. I mean, there's not really much to get to. All 3 of the shoes that I ordered from China, and 3 different brands, mind you, all had much more removable insoles than any American brand or any Western brand shoe company. So it's just interesting to note. And I do think that actually plays a role in the ride in this shoe specifically. I have not run in the other 2 yet, so I will let you know. The back here is a nice pull tab that, I guess it's not a pull tab, it's glued down, but it's suede. Feels really nice, and same with the eyelet chains right here. The midsole as well, it seems like it's an EVA. There's no specific location that I found in the Chinese marketing materials that said anything about what this foam specifically was. However, it says it's a supercritical foam. That tends to imply that's an EVA. Otherwise, they would probably mention, oh, it's a supercritical PIBA or a supercritical TPU. So my guess is we got some ethylene vinyl acetate in the house, and it is called Q Kung Fu Pro, which is a sick name. I think that, yeah, this is a Kung Fu shoe for sure. In the chasm here, you see there's a little bit of plastic poking through. That shank is only about yay big. And yeah, it's just concentrated to this area to promote stability for the foam. But yeah, I think that this being a relatively stable foam compound, maybe that could be a component of it that could go in future iterations so that it could save some weight. Not that 247 grams is heavy by any means, and it does not feel heavy on foot, though it is a bigger shoe, and I think that that's the sensation of size is coming from the spillover on posterior heel flare. in the back, and then these sidewalls are actually a bit bigger than they look and that they looked this morning when I was doing the measurements. Then the next thing is I did find some English language marketing materials that say that the heel to toe drop is 5 millimeters, which is very in line with what it felt like. When I measured this morning, it was like saying 8 to 10 on my best estimate, which just goes to show how inaccurate it is to do caliper readings from the sidewalls of the shoe like I was doing this morning. And then, getting to the lockdown, this is one of the best fitting shoes that I've worn in the last 2 years for my foot. Pretty crazy to say. I have notoriously bad fit issues on my right foot in particular. But all around, it's just hard for me to get a comfortable fit in pretty much any shoe. And so I've resigned myself to dealing with sloppy fit or like weird sensations or like having to fiddle with my lacing pattern and mess with the eyelet tension and so on and so forth. Did not have that issue in this. I tied them and I was out the door, and I think I retied them one time because they were too tight. And sometimes, when you get a new pair of shoes, you retie them at least once to get an understanding of what the shoe's going to feel like. But after that was the only time, and I didn't have to do it again, which is incredible for me. The ride is what it's all about. Or actually, before we get to the ride, it's a slightly lower volume toe box, but it's a wide enough platform that the fit was really excellent for me. And I really also enjoy the feeling of a lower volume toe box because it feels like my foot is being wrapped more and cradled, swaddled even, like a baby in a blanket. It feels nice to have that very mild touch on top of my feet. And the whole upper is just it's a really comfortable upper, really comfortable shoe. The ride now, it was soft, but responsive. It was I would say it's an extremely balanced ride where it's not going to be winning any bounce-a-thon awards, but it's also not going to be losing any comfort contests where you have this really comfortable, still responsive foam that can be used in a variety of applications that I didn't get it down super quickly today, but I got down to around 750. Actually, I think 745 for a brief second there. Group of us were running up the hill. And I think it became a competition. Don't blame me. It was definitely my fault. But down to, and that's around where I would like my marathon to be. Maybe my marathon will be a little quicker or a little slower, but that's right around the area that I'm anticipating my pace will be. So down to marathon pace, but started at like 10:30. My legs started today beat up. I was feeling not great for the first half mile, and then just sort of, again, it swaddled me, it babied me, it pampered me, the shoe, into feeling really good on my run. And set up some camera shots, then got to the track, and then just ran into the run club group and sort of got caught up in socialization. But it was a really, really nice ride. I was comparing it towards the end of the run to the insole having a different actuation point, and then the foam coming in as the literal actuation point, like a keyboard, like a keystroke on a Cherry MX key. And I do think that that's really true. I think that it's almost like if you took a Cherry MX Blue and mixed it with a MX Brown, where you get the click once you compress the insole, which is 5 millimeters thick, and then you get this linear actuation once you get into the midsole of the supercritical foam. I think this could go a lot faster than I put it through today. I didn't put it through faster than I put it through, so time will tell. I'm also one of the things I would like to improve upon in my running is sticking to lower paces or slower paces for myself. to improve as a runner and to keep my easy runs easy and my hard runs hard. But I know me, and I know on the next run that I take these for, I'll probably end up, getting caught up in some sort of competition with myself to hit some paces. So I'll get it a little quicker, do some up-tempo like pace pickups to get some information on that to you all. About the run today, it was about 16 miles. And for all of that, this felt comfortable. I didn't have any there's at no point did this feel like it was bottoming out or getting worn out, or it just felt really good through the duration. I'm excited. This is a really good shoe. I've needed a daily trainer for a while now. I've been alternating between the Evo SL and the Mizuno Neo Zen. Those are both excellent shoes. This is almost like a hybrid between the two, where the Evo SL is the firm of the two, or of the three, and then the Neo Zen is the soft of the three. And this foam is literally, as far as softness to firmness ratio or spectrum is concerned, this is right in the middle of those two. It's not like your super soft Neo Zen linear actuation, but then linear spring back out. But it's also not like the Evo SL where you're landing on a rubber bouncy ball each step. It's almost like you have this nice, soft, but sort of slow rebound that is definitely there. It's not a mushy shoe. It is responsive. It's just really good. It's really good at being a medium middle ground shoe between those two. But I think between really a lot of the shoes that I've run in, this feels like it could do a lot more than I did with it today, and it could go for a long distance. Thank you for your attention, and stay in motion.